Hello, students of Homestead. My name is Cyrus Webb. I am a author. I'm a artist. I also publish a magazine. I'm a radio talk show host, a TV talk show host, and hopefully in this presentation today, I will encourage you all to no matter what you want to do, whether it's one of those things or maybe a mixture of all of those things, to show you how you can do it too. I'm so glad to be able to be a part of your Career Day 2020. I have not personally been to your school, but my best friend of over 20 years, Herschel Dixon, who I co authored a book with called AJ and the Talent Show. You all probably remember that and get your read on. He is the one that allowed me to have this opportunity with you all today, and I'm so excited about it. So let me see. How many of you have ever thought about wanting to be an author? What about an artist? How many of you like to draw? Any of you ever thought about being able to be on television? What about radio? Any of you listen to radio or iHeartRadio and thought, you know what, I want to do that? We'll talk about my favorite thing? Well, whether you wanted to do one of those things or, as I said, a mixture of those things, where you are right now is so important because education definitely had to set the groundwork for me. I was a person when I was growing up, I loved to read. I'm actually from Mississippi. I grew up in Brandon, Mississippi. And though I never knew anybody personally who was in radio, who had written a book or on television, I knew that I could be able to do it. I had some great teachers that encouraged me, had a great art teacher. Her name is Miss Betty Phelps. She and I are still in contact with each other today. And she was someone who really encouraged me. I had great English teachers, and they encouraged me as well. Believe it or not, I grew up with a stutter, a speech impediment. And I had a teacher in middle school who was an English teacher who would stay after school with me and work with me. And I really credit her for a lot of my success today. Ironically, I had a chance to talk to her when I released my first adult book. I'm going to be showing that book to you guys. It's called Words I Choose to Live By. This is it here. Since then, though, I have written 18 books. I mentioned the book that I wrote with my good friend Herschel Dixon that many of you guys have gotten to know. That book is this one, AJ and the Talent Show. I've also written other books with other authors dealing with bullying and also just being good to yourself, being yourself. Being yourself is not easy. As you can imagine, I've had glasses most of my life. So what did most people call me? That's right, Four Eyes. So of course, because I studied in school, I was called a nerd, but I never let those things stop me. I realized that there were things I wanted to do, and I was determined to do it. How many of you have ever had anyone call you names? Yeah, it doesn't feel good, right? I mean, it's one of those things that makes you wonder, okay, what's wrong with me? But what I realize is that all of us are unique. All of us are different, and all of us have the opportunity to be able to do amazing things. Now, I also know at this point that not everyone can do the same thing, right? We all can't do the same thing. But whatever it is that you can do, the important thing is to do your best in it. So as I mentioned, I've had an opportunity now to write several books. I also publish a magazine every month called Conversations Magazine. This is a copy of one of our latest issues. I talk to a lot of celebrities, a lot of singers. I talk to dancers. I talk to rappers, a lot of actors, producers. How many of you wanted to be any of those things? Wanted to be an actor, wanted to be a recording artist, a rapper, a singer. Well, that's part of my job. At the time that I'm coming to you all here at Homestead, I've now interviewed over 9,600 people. 9,600 people. In the month of October of 2020, even though this has been a crazy year, right? I interviewed 90 people in 1 month, in the month of October. So I typically average on the radio show, I typically average about 600 guests a year. This year, we're going to probably do about 700. Now, I know that 2020 has been a challenging year for all of us, right? I mean, we've had to make adjustments. Maybe a lot of you have had to find different ways to stay connected with your friends. Maybe you're not able to go to places you're used to going. But what I want you to know that even though we're facing challenges right now, and even though this isn't your typical career day, I would have loved to have been there with you guys in person because I do travel a lot with my job, that we're going to be okay. And it doesn't mean that you can't do the things that you've always wanted to do. You may have seen on the news, even heard people talking about how things have changed. And you know what? They have changed. But we can be a part of the good change. And that's what I hope you're able to get from my career day presentation today. I grew up in Mississippi. I didn't go to college. I don't have any broadcasting experience. I never went to any kind of training. But I knew what I wanted to do, and I used the tools that I got in school to be able to help me. My love of reading helped me to be able then to interview all types of authors. My love of being able to learn and to explore. I've talked to astronauts. I've talked to scientists. I talked to doctors. And even though, for me, the job I do is nothing like what a lot of people do when it comes to the bigger professions, like being a doctor or being in these big jobs, I know that I'm a part of a lot of people's way of unwinding and also finding some entertainment. My latest book that I wrote is a book called Power Your Life with the Positive. That's it there. Some of your teachers may have actually seen it. It actually is a bestseller. I have an exclusive deal with Barnes & Noble bookstore. You can find this book in Barnes & Noble bookstores literally all over the country. And what it is it's a book of interviews I've done with different celebrities like Billy Ray Cyrus, who is, of course, Miley Cyrus's father, but also very successful himself. How many of you have ever heard of Reading Rainbow? LeVar Burton? He's in my book as well. I interviewed him for this book. So what I wanted to do is to talk to other successful people about how they stayed positive. And we all need that right now, right? We all need that positivity. And I want to be a part of that for all of you. I really want you all to know that I'm so proud of what you all are doing. I know this is not easy, but I know that all of us can get through this together. And I hope that you will choose to. So what does it take to be an author, if that's what you want to be? What does it take to draw? And I wanted to show you guys again. I mentioned I wrote this book with my good friend Herschel. You can see our pictures there on the back. There we are. But I also illustrated AJ. I was the one who created the image for AJ. So the pictures that you see in the book, I actually drew those as well. I've always loved to draw. And if you're someone, let me see your hands again, if you've always liked to draw. If you like to draw, you ever, okay. So, if that's something you want to do, the important thing is to practice. Learning, listening, watching, and that's what I do. And a lot of that you will learn in school, but also taking those tools you're learning in school and then being able to apply them in other areas is definitely what has helped me, and I know it will help you as well. So I would love for you all to stay connected with me. My website is just my name, cyruswebb.com, cyruswebb.com. You can also find me on social media, and yes, my content is kid-friendly. So I welcome you all to follow me on Facebook at Cyrus Webb, on Twitter, if you guys tweet, Cyrus Webb, or even on Instagram. I know probably a lot of you are on there. Cyrus Webb Presents is where you can find me there. That's also the name of my television show. So again, thank you all so much for allowing me to be a part of Homestead's Career Day 2020. I want to thank my best friend Herschel Dixon for the invite. And remember, no matter what you choose to do, dream big, never give up on yourself, and realize that if you do the work, anything is possible. Have a great one.